Hey, sexy Taurus. Almost didn't get yours in, so I apologize, but I'm getting it in now. This is Mimi with Divination by Mimi. Welcome to your September 23rd through September 30th, 2017 tarot reading. So for you, Venus is at the moment in the sign of Virgo. Not the happiest placement for her. Virgo is kind of interested in the details. Venus is a little bit more about beauty and love and sensuality and value. But not so much the nitty-gritty details like Virgo likes. Some other things occurring is Venus is in close proximity with her mythological lover Mars, who's also in Virgo at the moment, which tends to make us aggressive in a typical Martian way, but more like a war of words, not so much action, so maybe a little bit of passive aggressiveness. What else can I tell you? Mercury is, as of today, still in Virgo, but will be moving into Libra on the 30th. Let's see, Neptune and Chiron are still retrograde in Pisces, making some interesting aspects to Virgo. You don't have a whole lot in your astrological or your constellation at the moment. But Venus is making those interesting aspects. And then Uranus is still retrograde in Aries, which is, again, that fast-moving, unpredictable energy. And Saturn is still direct in the sign of Sagittarius, slowly making its way to its home of Capricorn on the solstice, or not on the winter solstice, excuse me. And by the way, happy autumn equinox in the northern hemisphere, Beltane in the southern hemisphere. And what's the last thing we're talking about? Oh, Pluto. So Pluto's been retrograde for a while in the sign of Capricorn, but we'll be going direct on the 28th. And that's kind of a good thing because Pluto's kind of about, well, sex, death, value, emotions, things that are the deeper stuff. Lord of the Underworld, right? Digging deep. So in retrograde, it's been us kind of looking over our past, looking over things that have hurt us in the past, or experiencing those over and over again. So, for example, if you've had a rough relationship with your father, you might see this while Pluto's in retrograde in a consistent playing itself out consistently over and over again in, say, your workplace, and what seems to be unrelated areas of your life, but it's all still related because this is a dynamic that's playing itself out. And I think that is it. So that's it for astrology. Let's get into your tarot. I'm going to be using the Thoth or Tahuti deck. And I'm going to do a Celtic cross. Try to make it quick. For Taurus. Sensual, sexy, attractive Taurus. Earth sign. For September 23rd through September 30th, 2017. What's a central theme or central concern for Taurus? September 23rd through September 30th, 2017. What's on your mind? What's important to you? What's playing itself out over and over in your life? And what's the foundation for that? For Taurus, September 23rd, 2017 through September 30th, 2017. All right, kids, let's see. What's up for Taurus? Central issue. What's on the mind of Taurus? September 23rd through September 30th, 2017. Here we go. So you got the Lovers in reverse. Energy around this, the Empress and the Upright. That's two major arcana. So there's some kind of major life decision you need to make. The energy around has to do with prosperity, has to do with abundance. It could have to do with your mother. So a maternal figure, a woman in your life that is a mother. You perhaps are pregnant. But there is a decision that needs to be made, and you have not quite been ready to make that decision. This is the Lovers card in the Thoth deck, or the Tahuti deck. Oops, there we go. And the Hebrew letter attributed to this is Zayan, and that's a sword. And Generally, with a sword, you cut through something. You cut through perhaps the emotional side of things, or the things that muddy the waters when you're seeking clarity as it relates to this issue. Now, the foundation for this is the Seven of Swords, futility. It looks like you've been, in the past, or the reason for feeling this way, is you've had a lot of mental energy focused on something for naught. There's been a lot of focus, a lot of mental focus on this situation with no result, with no resolution. Recent past. Ace of Swords in reverse. A couple of swords going on here. So there's some mental energy. You're giving this a lot of thought. There might have been a decision that needed to be made, or a move that needed to be made intellectually, a trip that was to have been made, and it didn't happen. So this is the Ace of Swords. Whoops. You got it in the reverse in your recent past. Usually this is the aces are the essence of an energy. So in this case with swords, this is mental energy, air, the element of air. So this is communication. This could be a communication that you didn't get and expected to get, or a communication that you received and didn't expect what you got. You ended up getting a response that you didn't expect at all, and that's kind of made things a little bit disjointed, difficult to determine. But what I'm seeing here is with Zion being the ruling Hebrew letter for which means sword for the lovers, and with this futility card, meaning a lot of mental energy expended on something for naught with no result, and a lost opportunity, or a lost message, or a missed message, or a misunderstood message, or a message you didn't really expect to get, or never got. What's on your mind is change. This is the Two of Discs. In the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, this would be the fellow who is sort of juggling two pentacles with the lemniscati around it, the infinity symbol around it, meaning talking about it's forevermore a juggling of resources. Okay, and again, with the central issue here being about making a decision and being about a delay in making that decision. You want change. So it would appear you want to make this decision. Near future, nor swords. Interesting. Five of Swords, which is defeat. Okay. I'll get clarification on that. This is you. Oppression, 10 of Wands. You're exhausted. This is Saturn in Sagittarius, which currently Saturn is in Sagittarius, the constellation Sagittarius. And what it is a lot of tense energy, but with Saturn in Sagittarius. So Saturn, excuse me, so Sagittarius is a mutable sign, which means it's flexible. It can change and change its mind and adjust to any situation. And it's a fire sign. When Saturn, which is leaden energy, it's the three-dimensional world, it's the restrictions of manifestation, right, of this world. 3 dimensions. When Saturn is in that energy, it tends to slow it down tremendously. It tends to frustrate the energy. So you're feeling frustrated. Even though the decision is yours to make and changes what you want, you feel exhausted and frustrated. How other people see you. Another major arcana, so we've got the Hangman here. This is about waiting. It's about a spiritual endeavor as well. This is Mem, which is one of the mother letters of the Hebrew alphabet. And that's pretty much about water. See, this person is suspended in reverse. He's making this sign of the alchemical sign of sulfur in reverse. So there's a gestation period here. You notice his head is sort of in a birthing position, and the serpents that are there toward at the bottom of the card where his head is toward what would be the metaphorical womb indicate a sort of wisdom. So you're in a holding pattern. You're in a gestation period where you're trying to take on the information, taking on the mistakes and the wasted energy here, take on the message that either you misconstrued or received in what we're not expecting, and preparing yourself for change. Again, this defeat, we'll try to find out more about what that could possibly be. I'll let you look at it here. This is Venus and Aquarius. So see all the rose petals? That's Venus. The coloration and the position and the fact that they're broken up by swords, that's Aquarius in Venus. So the love, the nurturing, the beauty of Venus, and I'm not having a go at Aquarius here, but the two don't mix very well. Aquarius energy, which is kind of a cold, logical, stoic energy, mixing with the hot, passionate fire of Venus. You're ruled by Venus and the sexy Taurus, right? Sensual Taurus, sensual Venus. It's not a good mixture. So we'll get clarification on this. So people see you as you're in a gestation, you're in a waiting period, waiting to make the right decision. Don't want to waste time and effort and mental energy again. Don't want to misconstrue any messages as you might have in the past, but ready for change. What you're afraid of or what you hope for. So you got the 9 of Discs. In the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, this is the card with the single lady with her falcon and her lovely garden full of pentacles, and other variations on other Rider-Waite-Smith variations, deck variations. This is gained in the Thoth deck. And so, as a 9, it's coming to the conclusion. You're reaching a culmination of this particular suit, which is Discs, which has to do with the earthly plane. So this is things like health, wealth, your stuff, your things, stuff like that. This astrological attribution is Venus in Virgo, which is actually its placement on this particular day. So it's a good, I mean, Venus in Virgo, although I was talking about it, it's not a happiest placement, but it is not a negative placement. And the 9 is a culmination of coming to a conclusion as it's relating to the physical 3-dimensional world, your stuff, your things, your health. You're hoping that you're going to come to some kind of resolution, that you're nearing the end of this, because this is how you're feeling now. Again, 10 of Wands, oppression, fatigue, almost depression at the fact that there's energy there, but nothing's happening because of the Saturnian energy. And again, not having to go at Saturn, it's just its nature. It's leaden. Final outcome is the Libra card. So you got the Queen of Swords again. Libra energy is a just energy. It is the diplomatic energy. It is peace and justice and fairness. So the final outcome appears to be that we might be feeling a bit of defeat in the process here as you're weeding through this and going through this gestation period and moving towards your hopes and fears of coming toward the end of whatever this trial is. It could have something to do with finances, because the Empress is in the upright position. She's the energy around this decision here that needs to be made in the Lovers. And again, that's Venus as well. And then we have Venus here as well in Virgo, and we have Venus here in Aquarius. So a lot of Venus, a lot of Swords, so a lot of mental energy. Because she's to do with abundance and prosperity and fertility, and we're talking about Discs here as your hope, you're coming to a culmination and a change in your financial situation. The Queen of Swords, or the Libra energy, is a good energy. Basically, it's saying that things will come to a balance. Things will come to things will turn out the way they're supposed to. And I'm going to see clarification here and on the Libra card. But I think that's a good outcome. If you've played all of your cards right, if it's the right time and place for you to reach this culmination, to reach this ultimate goal, you know, this waiting that you've been doing, this frustrating energy where you start bumping your head against the wall here, and you know, a lot of wasted mental energy on something and miscommunicated or misconstrued messages, desiring change, needing to make a decision as it relates to abundance, feeling the defeat of the current energy. And again, with Pluto going direct on the 28th, this could make a difference in things coming to finally start moving in the direction you'd like them. With the Libra card, that sort of says that things are going to come out the way that they should. All sides being fair, all sides being even, no one in particular gaining over another. Big picture here. Feels like it's financial. All right, so can I get clarification? This is Rune, Nordic Rune. Clarification on the defeat card in the upright for near future. Hagal. I'm just double checking something here because I forget all the time. I think it's delays. Oops. Yeah, delays and limitations. So what you're feeling here, this frustration of wanting things to move naturally as they would with Venus being your ruler. The near future, you're going to feel some delays and some limitations because of this attribution, you know, in accordance with what you're experiencing in your life. So you might feel a little bit of slowness, you know, this feeling continued, this gestation continued, but the ultimate goal will, if you have the patience, will come out. So just delays here, and it's outside of your control, so you might as well relax. Hagal, okay? Next rune, let's pull this bit. How about the Libra card as the final outcome? Oh, it wants this one, that's for sure. What do we get here? Ewas, whoops, in the upright. And not Ewas. Yeah, Ewas. In the upright. Oh, you might be moving. Relocating. There's definitely change, so you want it, you're going to get it. But it's a steady progression. So either you're taking a trip by land, it's a journey that will help you come to your conclusion, or you're literally picking up and moving, relocating. I hope that helps. So the decision that needs to be made, I believe it's around your prosperity. You've had some either misconstrued or miscommunicated messages in the past, and as a result, you've wasted some mental energy here. But you want change, and although the change is slow coming, there's delays and limitations surrounding it. It is coming. Right now, you're feeling very, very oppressed by the slow-moving, dense energy. Again, delays. And as everyone around can see that you're in a holding pattern, waiting for something to happen. Ultimately, you want this financial abundance or this financial culmination, and the result on that will be a move, either a trip or a move. Now, this wasn't. This could have been for a specific Libra or two, or a a Taurian energy or two, or a few Tauruses, Tauri. But that's it. I think that's pretty clear. If you have questions or comments about this reading, feel free to put them in the comment section below. If you would like a personal reading, please email me at memes@hotmail.com. You'll find that email address in the description box below the video. Happy autumn equinox. And I think that's it. I will see you next month. Everyone take care. Bye.